What kind, boy?
Yo, we got Durban gang boss killed by taxi boss's Bloods gang. Yo, this is too close to home, XA. This all been fucking making bangers so lately, boy. Yeah, this is a bit too close to home, XA.
This video tells the story of Kelvin Pirisami, a notorious dope kingpin who ran an empire of tow trucks and taxis, and he was the leader of the Bloods gang in Phoenix in Durban.
I swear to God, I've seen this taxi before. I swear, boy. It was a fucking...
Kelvin's reign came to a violent end as he left the gym in Gateway Mall, laid down in cold blood. But the identity of the shooters remained a mystery. Kelvin had no shortage of enemies, because at the time of his death, a brutal theft war was raging in the tow truck industry, leaving a trail of bodies in its wake. And in Phoenix, tow truck theft...
That's what you know about Phoenix, boy. So got some random fucking... What show is this, like,
leaving a trail of bodies in its wake. And in Phoenix, tow truck theft wars weren't just about towing. They were deeply tied to the city's deadly dope trade. Now in this video, we delve into the dangerous downfall of the Bloods gang leader, Kelvin Pirisami, a story of power, crime, and revenge.
An alleged Durban gang leader has been shot dead execution style in the parking lot
who this, boy? Who this?
of the Gateway shopping mall in Umhlanga. A 30-year-old Kelvin Pirisami is said to have been the ringleader of a drug empire operating in Phoenix. Police are hunting for the perpetrator who fled the scene.
The end of the road for a notorious Phoenix drug lord and leader of the Blood gang. He can't be named as his family is yet to identify the body. The victim was also a minibus taxi and tow truck owner, recently arrested alongside his brother for operating a drug cartel. Police say they confiscated large sums of money and drugs during
I don't like, this is crazy to like see this in a video, boy, cause like I never thought motherfuckers would be making a video on Phoenix, boy.
and raids at their homes.
Was at the parking lot in Umhlanga when he was shot by an unknown suspect, and he sustained multiple gunshot wounds to the body and was declared at the scene. And the case of murder has been open for investigation at Durban North Police Station.
The two brothers were due in court on Friday on drug-related charges.
Phoenix has long been plagued by gang violence, with drive-by shootings and brutal theft wars becoming an almost daily occurrence. Now the streets are a battlefield where rival gangs fight for control, not just for territory, but for lucrative criminal enterprises. Now whispers of police corruption only fuel the chaos. Some officers are rumored to be on the payroll of some gang leaders, turning a blind eye to the carnage. These gangs don't just deal in dope, they've infiltrated the taxi and tow truck industries, using them as fronts to launder their dirty money. Now the taxi business, with its steady flow of cash, is a perfect cover. Though proceeds are easily mixed with legitimate money, creating a seamless pipeline for money laundering. But another power play comes from the tow truck industry, where the gangs have found a way to turn wrecked vehicles into gold. All it takes to enter the tow truck game is a buggy and you're fitted with towing equipment. Now some operators register their businesses but many don't. And what follows is a lawless, cutthroat industry filled with cowboy tow truckers. They prey on victims of car accidents using deception and brute force to seize vehicles. Many falsely claim to be authorized by insurers, luring in desperate motorists before slapping them with exorbitant fees. Now once a car is in their yard, is effectively being held for ransom. Owners of now once
No, you can't do this to this car, any other car, boy, not this car,
the car is in their yard, is effectively being held for ransom. Owners are forced to pay up to 25,000 rands or more just to reclaim their own property, on top of the already crushing cost of repairs. The tow truck industry isn't just about money, it's about power. The busiest accident-prone areas are prime real estate, and the gangs will stop at nothing to control them. Now the violence escalates as rival factions clash over these hotspots, not just for the towing profits, but because these networks double as dope distribution channels. Now every war on the streets is a battle for something much bigger: control over the dope trade. Now in Phoenix, the war isn't just about towing, it's about total trade. Now in Phoenix, the war isn't just about towing, it's about total domination. Salim Niggas Gafour, a notorious tow truck boss and alleged dope kingpin from Chaparral in Phoenix, found himself at the center of a deadly war. Now the kingpin from Chaparral in Phoenix found himself at the center of a deadly war. Now the violence erupted at a chaotic accident scene on Northern Drive in Phoenix, where a shootout broke out between staff from SS Tow Lines, the company that Salim co-owned, and their rivals. Now arrests were made, but the case collapsed when both sides refused to press charges. In an attempt to restore peace, a meeting was held to broker a truce, but the ceasefire was short-lived. A month later, two shooters stormed the rivals' business premises, opening fire and injuring 3 people. The retaliation was swift and brutal. The rival gang struck back, hunting down Salim. He was hit multiple times, but miraculously he survived. Tragically, an electrician working at his house at the time wasn't so lucky. He was caught in the crossfire and he was taken out.
Damn, what the fuck? That was just dollaring his fucking job.
One of the players who dominated the tow truck business was Kelvin Perisami and his brother Kevin, who were the alleged kingpins of the Bloods, a notorious gang that ran the streets in Phoenix. Now Kelvin moved with power and influence, and often he was seen at the Gateway Vision Active Gym, always accompanied by his entourage. But in July of 2019, for reasons unknown, he left the gym alone, a fatal mistake. As he walked towards his car, an assassin struck, laying him down at close range. 4 Indian males were seen fleeing from the crime scene. 2 of them stopped outside the parking lot and fired 2 shots in the air like they were celebrating. Police later recovered bullet casings near the exit.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Kelvin wasn't just a gang leader, he was a businessman with a tight grip on Phoenix. His empire stretched across multiple industries: a security company, a pawn shop, minibus taxis, and a fleet of tow trucks. But his most lucrative trade was allegedly in the dope business. Now in the tow truck industry, he held a monopoly, but his ambitions didn't stop there. He had set his sights on expanding into Verulam and Durban CBD, a move that meant muscling his way into new territory. And in the world of crime, expansion often comes at a deadly price. In Jan of 2018, police launched a dramatic raid on a beauty parlor and the home of Kevin and his brother Kelvin. Now during the bust, authorities seized a staggering haul. The total value of the confiscated dope was estimated at 80,000 rands, and police also seized 97,000 rands in cash, suspected to be dope proceeds, as well as 3 firearms. Now initially, the Perisami brothers were held at Westville Correctional Service, but security concerns forced their transfer to the maximum security prison, Ebongweni Supermax in Kokstad. Now authorities feared they were orchestrating an escape. Kelvin managed to secure bail before his older brother, but freedom came with the price. He was already entangled in another criminal case. He was out on bail awaiting trial for a 2016 hit of Enver Ramseni, a hit that allegedly took place inside Kelvin's pawn shop in Hannaford in Phoenix. The night before the hit, Enver had been out drinking with friends. An argument broke out between him and Kelvin, but by early Saturday morning, he had returned home and gone to sleep. Now, according to Enver's wife, Shireen, the next day, an off-duty police officer, acting on instructions from Kelvin, arrived at their home to fetch him. Now Enver had been warned that Kelvin knew exactly where his family lived and had threatened to spray the house with gunfire. Now, fearing for his loved ones, Enver agreed to go and apologize, hoping to prevent bloodshed. But what awaited him at the pawn shop was anything but forgiveness. Witnesses say as soon as he arrived, Kelvin slapped him. Tensions exploded and both men drew their firearms. A gunfight erupted. The details of who fired first are unclear, but when the smoke cleared, Enver Ramsemi was laid down. Kelvin had 9 lives. Time and time again, he was linked to serious crimes, yet he always managed to walk away unscathed. Allegations surfaced that several police officers were on the Bloods gang payroll, ensuring that justice was always out of reach. A leaked report compiled by a senior police officer painted a chilling picture. Between 2007 and 2017, the Bloods gang had been linked to a lot of cases, from hits to assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm to weapons charges. But despite all of these cases, convictions were rare. With the tow truck and dope wars going on, Kelvin knew his enemies were closing in. Now, according to police source, he was fully aware that there was a hit out on him. He moved accordingly, driving around in a bulletproof VW Amarok, accompanied by 4 heavily armed bodyguards. But no amount of security could stop a determined assassin. Now, Kelvin was laid down as he left the gym by himself in July of 2019. His shooters had been watching, studying his every move, and they struck when he was at his most vulnerable. A woman who works as a violence monitor in KZN, Mary De Haas, suggested that Kelvin's assassination wasn't just about turf wars, it was about silencing him for good. She says Kelvin knew too much. He could have implicated the wrong people, possibly even members of law enforcement. And the timing of his hit was no coincidence. Not long before his death, a large quantity of dope had mysteriously disappeared from the Phoenix police station. Whether connected or not, one thing was clear: Kelvin's hit was no random act of violence, it was a message. On the police radar were several key suspects: tow truck operators, dope dealers from Phoenix and Springfield, and a notorious taxi boss from the North Coast. Now, investigators were convinced that Kelvin's execution was payback, a brutal chapter in the never-ending war for control of Durban's dope trade and the cutthroat tow trucks industry. At Kelvin's funeral, his brother Kevin remained hidden in the shadows, avoiding attention at all costs. Paranoia ran high. He warned family members and friends not to call him by his street name Cheesy, afraid that hitmen could be lurking in the crowd, waiting for their moment. His family took extreme measures to protect him.
Everywhere, boy.
They pretended he was still in Westville prison, awaiting trial, hoping to throw off those who wanted him dead. Now, to sell the illusion, a family member even read out a letter at the funeral, supposedly written by Kevin from his prison cell, a desperate attempt to keep him hidden from the crosshairs of his enemies. Meanwhile, on the other side of Phoenix, another family was watching events unfold with different emotions. Relief. Now, Shireen Ramsemi, the widow of Enver Ramsemi, The man Kelvin was accused of laying down at his pawn shop. She didn't hold back. She said they had been praying for that moment for a long time. She even admitted that it's not something they are proud to say, but they were happy with what happened, because what you do to others will be done unto you.
Life is a circle, boy. What you do will come back. Hey, shout to this motherfucker right here, boy. Media gang. Shout to this old, bruh. Fire.